Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Shaun of the Dead. I'm here with a few friends, and we're going to be discussing, as requested, what we would do in a zombie attack. I've had some people requesting this to have, hey, get some more of your friends together. I'd like to hear more of what you guys would do. So I have several of my friends here. Some do not want to be on YouTube as far as their faces, so you just hear some voices. So you'll probably be looking at my mug most of the time. So. No, we're going to go over the different types of zombies and kind of, give references from there.
Well, I mean, there's the classic Romero zombie.
What, the slow walking, slow changing zombie?
Yeah, slow shambling.
How is that even going to happen?
I mean, at that point, I'm just going to go out and have fun and play. I'm going to take a machete because, they're not going to do nothing to me. You can just push them away. Even in the Romero movie, the first one, Night of the Living Dead, by the next day, back in what was it, this early 70s, late 60s when he did that? By the next day, they had already mopped up all the zombies in town.
Well, sure.
Just the good
I
boys.
thought in the Night of the Living Dead that some of them were fairly quick.
No, it was
You're talking about in the black and white one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought some of them were rather quick once they got to where they were trying to beat into the house.
I think Sean's right. The first ones, they were slow, and by the next day, they pretty much had them under control because they were so slow and easily. Their main danger was if they got close and mobbed you. If you were halfway intelligent and had a place to hold up and stand your ground, or you could outrun them, they weren't a problem. And that kind of gets back to when the movie was made, is when Hollywood still liked to do a lot of happy endings, so that's kind of the way it turned out.
But it was actually kind of a dark ending because at the end of the movie, for one, they had a black guy in there who was actually one of the heroes. And back when it was made, they saw him and it was alluded to that they shot him and killed him, not because he was a zombie, because he was black. And they alluded he was a zombie, so I shot him, but they shot him because he was a black guy. And he was like, hey, hey, and he was articulating properly. Right. And then they saved the girl that was there, and as they brought her out, they showed a ring, and a guy was in the ring fighting a zombie and beating on it and stuff, and just pushing it around. And then it had these other two zombies hanging by their necks, twitching from a tree, and they were just shooting at them and plinking at their bodies, not killing them, and just kind of shooting at them for sport. And she made the remark, "Who's the monster?" And that's how it ends. So they were, so that kind of zombie attack is not even a real zombie attack in my mind.
Okay, so set up the situation.
We'll go with the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
They were just as slow in Dawn of the Dead.
No, the
Actually,
remake.
they were comical in Dawn of the Dead.
No, the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah. They get bit, and once you die, you wake up as a zombie.
Immediately?
Immediately.
Okay, that...
And they are fast. They are freaking fast.
In that case, they'd probably die.
Right.
I'm not going to run. I can't outrun them. I mean, unless I'm at home or where I can keep them from getting in. Yeah, that's the kind of place where you want to find some place with no windows, very few doors that you can get into. A blockhouse, a bunker type situation with food and supplies to last.
Yeah, because to kind of give you a little background on the movie, for those who haven't seen it, there's a part in there where her husband goes in, sees this little girl that always comes in their house, and he's like, hey, are you okay? And she bites him in the neck, rips out his jugular. Well, he runs back in the room, they shut the door on the little girl, and she's a nurse, so she's trying to comply with compression, and she's trying to call 911, the phones are dead, so she's holding it down, he dies. And she's like, oh no. And then all of a sudden he sits up and looks at her and she's like, oh crap. She grabs her keys, he chases her around, she fumbles in the bathroom, shuts the door, and he's beating on the door, she slides out to the window. That's how fast he changed. Another woman was bit on the leg, and it took her hours to change because it wasn't a fatal wound. The sickness had to overtake her, kill her, and then once she died, within 1 to 5 minutes, you wake up and bam, you're full throttle zombie. And this chick was a very large chick, and she jumped up like a gymnast and chased this chick down.
Okay, so that sounds like Walking Dead to me.
Walking Dead had a little bit of both. They had zombies that are slow, and then some that were faster.
Some that were medium-ish speed.
Yeah.
I'll go with that, but they weren't Dawn of the Dead fast. Where that armless zombie was like whoosh, and it was like freaking track star.
Fastest ones I think I've seen in a movie so far
War
is
Z.
World War Z. I
Yeah, but
those
that
were
was-
like
Yeah, they were.
ants.
Well, not only that, they would turn in 10 seconds
Yeah,
after
they
being
turned.
bit,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
you
12
know,
Defined
count.
or not.
Yeah, 12.
boy, they could just climb like ants when they would just pile over like that wall in Israel and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, that's just classic human wave
Yeah.
attack.
But
So-
then, of course, we've read about some zombies. There's been some zombie books that I've read, like, Day by Day Armageddon, which...
I kind of like those to a point. This last one has been obedient, so.
Yeah, I mean, in that one, the zombies, you had some that were the slow shamblers, and then you had some that were irradiated when, in the books, they bombed some of the cities to try to kill them off. And all they ended up doing was the radiation killed all the bacteria in the body, because unlike in other zombie movies, the body continued to decay. It was animated and, would attack, but decay and bacteria would continue to degrade the body until it just rotted apart and it was gone, dead. Well, with the radiation, killed all of the bacteria, it basically preserved them. It's like if they were, preserved. So you had these fast, preserved, irradiated zombies that not only could kill you by biting you or running you down, but they would also kill you with radiation sickness even if you were just around them for too long.
Joy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, well, the key to survival is, keeping your head and doing the right thing and being prepared.
Yeah,
So-
we talked about that. Be aware of your surroundings. Have a plan. Do something. React. Don't just
Stand and stare.
stand and stare, deny, say, "Oh, this can't be happening. This can't be happening," until it happens to you, and you end up getting bit in the jugular or whatever. Have a plan. Have a backup plan in case your first plan can't work.
Got to be flexible.
Yeah.
Got to be flexible.
Yeah, willing to change with the times is definitely a huge bonus. So we'll just kind of red rubbing around the table. We're going to start with you. We'll go kind of around the table here. So if you saw irrefutable proof on your front lawn, somebody being eaten by a person, and then that person that they're gnawing on, their throat's gone, all of a sudden gets up and starts chasing somebody else, and you can see irrefutable proof. First thing in the morning, you're walking out, you stretch, you're going to go get the morning paper, and you see fracking zombies on your lawn. You're like, oh, shoot, that's obviously a zombie. What is your first reaction at that point?
My first reaction at that point is to pull my .45 caliber Glock 30 from its holster that I have on me because I have a concealed carry license, and it's going to be on me when I walk out the door in the morning. It always is. And I'm going to try to my best.
Well, are we walking out into this or just seeing it through the window?
Yeah,
You just open up the front door to go get your morning paper.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said going out to get the
If
paper.
I'm going outside my house, I've got my pistol with me. I don't leave home without it. It's like American Express. I'm going to put one in its head. I mean, if I see, its throat ripped out and it's walking around with its throat ripped out or it's eating somebody, yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm going to be shooting first and, worrying about it later. Very least I can say I was in fear for my life and was shooting to stop the threat.
You said zombies, right? More than one?
Yeah, well, the second one it's eaten decides to change, and he gets up. And that's your proof that it's a zombie.
How do you know the first one's a zombie? It's not a crazy guy like that guy in Miami.
Still shoot it, crazy guy or not. He's going to come
Well,
after
because
me.
when you open up the door, you see that the first one, his throat's ripped out, and he's eating the other person, and his throat's ripped out, and he's got his guts hanging out. And all of a sudden, the dead guy gets up off the ground, and they chase down a third person.
I mean, we're all.
I would shut the door.
Well, yeah. After I shot it, yeah, I'd be shutting the door.
I might shut the door first so that way they
Yeah.
wouldn't hear me.
I wouldn't draw attention to myself.
I mean, if it's
Exactly.
coming after me, it's
Like
already
shoot.
seen me. But yeah, I guess.
No, he said they're chasing down a third person.
Oh, okay.
That's your proof that there are in fact
in
zombies.
that case, if it's not attacking me, yeah, back inside the house and starting to load my various magazines of ammunition and whatnot.
That's what I mean. I would just shut the door and try to avoid it.
And just chill out in your house.
Well, I'd be barricading the frick out of my house.
So now let me ask you guys this: you guys know what the blender is, right? What my theory of the blender is?
No.
Okay, the blender is, in the zombie movies, that's whenever has everyone here seen World War Z?
Yeah. I haven't, but I know
Okay,
about it.
but you've seen the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
Okay, same thing.
It's actually worth seeing.
I'm going to see it.
It is the point of where the zombies are at their height, and it's mass chaos between people that are running around, rioting, looting, shooting each other, shooting zombies, and zombies are attacking everything. It's at the worst possible stage when everything is completely being shaken up. When zombies and people are moshing, and the streets are completely flooded with carnage. That's the blender. Now, whenever you first see the first stage of a zombie apocalypse, you're in a pre-blender. It's not the blender hasn't happened yet. So, are you going to try to load up and leave before the blender happens, or are you going to fortify in your home and try to ride out the blender and then leave afterwards, or are you going to just kind of take out whenever you get the opportunity and run out of food first, or what are your thoughts on?
Depends on what's happening around, if
Yeah,
I'm hearing screaming, if there's a lot of noise, if the people,
you're
those
good.
three people are banging on my door.
It depends on where you're at, too. I mean, if you look at, even like this house here, the doors aren't going to stop anybody that really wants to get through the door, human, zombie, or otherwise. Windows are not going to stop anybody that's really wanting to come through the windows. You don't have the stuff to really, unless you took doors off the hinges and nailed them onto the walls, over the windows, which is going to take time and manpower.
And make noise.
Your average home is not a safe place.
Well, especially mine. I have very big windows in several rooms. Getting it barricaded would not be quick. Getting it completely secure.
Okay.
It probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's still, what I would do in that situation, I'd still go back into my house. And I would be trying, before I try to decide to bug out or whatever, I would be turning the TV on, the radio on, whatever, to try to get more information, to try to find out what is going on.
Yeah, text all of y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Screw the cost. Mom and Dad. Or Mom
It's
and
good to
Todd.
know I'm worth a dime. I appreciate that.
20 cents.
20 cents for your text, okay.
I think mine's 40 cents. So.
Yeah,
Mine's
definitely
nothing, I'm
communicate, let everybody that I know that something's going on. Check the news, check the internet, check the radio, have it all three going.
See, I have an advantage in that I have, access to a police officer. So I'm going to be probably in an emergency type situation privy to some information that might not get out to the general public.
See,
yet,
I'm thinking,
or as quickly as...
I'm thinking when it happens, it's going to be more like a movie that I just watched, Shaun of the Dead, where it's not going to be quite so obvious. You're going to be out, and it's going to be little isolated incidents at first when it first starts. People aren't going to catch it, see it, so you may not be home.
I would think it would be more where it's like a viral attack, where kind of like a terrorist
Or
type
might
attack. So I
quick.
would think that it would be something that would be. I don't think it would be that isolated.
Yeah.
I thought, like in War Z, I thought it was really interesting how when they were trying to track it down, where they were talking, they thought it started in Korea, and they came out saying that North Korea was not impacted by this because they immediately pulled everybody's teeth out in the country, so nobody could eat anybody if they turned into a zombie.
It would have to be something fast. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to isolate it and contain it.
Yeah, because our military is pretty impressive if it really wants to lock something down.
It is, but if it's, and I've watched shows where they've talked
Especially
about
for those that believe in shadow.
not just zombies, but like any kind of disease like avian flu or swine flu or whatever. It has to be fast enough, but not too fast. And in the world we live in now, which is a global world with airports and whatnot,
Yeah, you're talking about something spreading in a
it
matter
could
of
spread
hours.
in a matter
Which
of hours.
War Z gets into
Yeah.
that also.
So, I mean, if it's the type of zombie where you get bit and 10 seconds later you're a zombie, that's almost too fast because, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
In World War Z, it would happen in 10 seconds.
or 12 or something.
Or something like that. I remember him counting.
Yeah, I think it was 12, but still, that's freaking quick.
In the later ones, it was 12. Earlier,
Okay,
it wasn't as fast.
I just remember right at the beginning, he's counting.
He counted.
He's watching
He
that
counted.
guy, and I thought he counted to 10. Maybe it was 12.
It was 12, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 12.
And then
But that was the
he
later
was counting
stage.
with that girl in Israel where he chopped her arm off. Remember, he was counting. He's like, "Don't worry, you'll be all right."
Of course, in some, it's the zombies, you turn into a zombie because you're bit. Then there's also the zombies where if you just die, you become a zombie, which is
where Walking Dead was going to.
yeah. And in that situation,
And that's the original Romero stuff, too, is
And-
whenever you die, you're a zombie.
Yeah.
Period.
You're
Yeah,
infected.
it's been so long since I watched
yeah,
the
basically
Romero
everybody's
movies,
a
I
carrier
can't
for
remember
becoming
all
a zombie, and when you die, you become a zombie.
But while they were tracking the virus back, I remember it took longer and longer the further back they went.
So it's like it became more viral, faster spreading as it went.
Yeah.
And see, I mean, that's the other thing is, in most people's scenarios, it's going to happen like the Romero movies. What if it's like the Black Death, where it could be spread by inhaling just the breath? All sort. There's different ways of it being
Yeah, if
spread.
it's airborne,
But let's step back. Let's step back to what we would do. It would really depend on. Well, those three go running off. I'd step back in. I'd try to get in contact with everybody, see who was still alive.
Thanks.
At that point,
That's awesome.
I would probably just go around to the different rooms and look out the window, disturbing the blinds as little as possible
Right.
to see how many were out there. And I mean, if there's none in sight, I would probably leave. I would take my stuff and get the hell out.
And where would you go?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'd probably go to Waco. My
Why
family.
Waco?
My
You have
family's
family
there.
there?
yeah, I mean, definitely, try to get to family or friends. And then, I don't really have much family around, so I'll probably try to hook up with somebody. Depending on where they were going, and how I felt. If I felt like a long trip was safe, I might go with somebody that was going a long distance. If I didn't think that it was worth the risk, I'd probably stay and try to stick with somebody sticking close. It also depends on, kind of getting back to what kind of zombies they are. In some movies and books, the zombies are pretty easy to avoid as long as you know the certain key weakness or trigger. Some in books and movies, it's noise. If you make a lot of noise or a lot of sound, they're attracted to it. So if you're shooting your gun or whatever, they're coming. Some, it's smell. They can smell you, like Walking Dead. They smeared the stuff on themselves and it camouflaged them, and
They reacted to sound as well.
they reacted to sound as well. But you could fool them with smell. That was kind of like their thing. With others, I mean, there's been some, like the Japanese anime and manga of High
School of the Dead, they're
the zombies
blind.
were blind. They couldn't see. They went strictly from sound and, like, infrared or
Well, wasn't Shaun of the Dead strictly on how they acted? Or
Yeah.
no, because they smeared themselves down too.
No,
No,
they just made
they just
themselves-
faked
they
it
just-
and walked through them and fooled them. At least
A failed actress and a twat. I didn't call her a failed actress.
yeah, they kind of faked their way through that. So I try to find out what kept them from noticing me, whether it was just noise or whatever. So
Part of it also is what kind of response I got from my messages.
Okay, so say you text all of us, and we all are like, "Oh, hey, really?" And you hear me going, "Yay!"
Well, if I
And it's all positive responses. So we're all alive and safe.
from my mom,
Yeah.
my brother,
Yeah.
then I'd probably head to Waco.
yeah, you definitely want to get
Now,
out.
okay, so your family's fine there, so you decide to move that way. Now, say that your family wasn't fine, but you got responses from your friends here.
Well, I'd probably stay here because I don't know yet. I don't know how to get into my parents' house. I don't have a key, and I don't know the combination of their little. I can't get into their house. I'd have to break a window, which would.
Kind of defeat the purpose of
Yeah.
going into the house because then it's open.
Yeah, I mean, I try to contact my parents, and if they were fine, then I'm heading there myself. If they're not fine, then I'm heading out to a smaller rural area. Period.
Yeah,
I'm not staying in DFW. There's no freaking way. Just not going to do it. It's a bad idea.
Without knowing anyone in a rural area, I mean,
Well, I assume they're going to be affected, but not. I mean, as well. But I mean, a smaller density of population means smaller density of issues. So you can find some area to kind of chill out for a while, and you can.
Maybe as simple as a hotel room. I've thought about that. And if you don't have somebody that you can go out in the country and meet, you can go get a hotel out in the country. Hotels are all highways and whatnot out away from population centers. My main thing is I wouldn't want to be around however many million people suddenly turning into zombies because pretty soon they're going to outnumber you a million or
Well,
whatever.
and that hotel's probably going to be full of zombies.
yeah, see, that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm not going to a hotel. I'm going out in the woods-ish and trying to get off the beaten path enough that, even if I'm, I'll go knock on some farmer's door, and if they, I'll come up, I'll beep the horn, and make sure that they make known. If they come out with a shotgun, then I'll leave, if nobody comes to the door and I drive up and I knock on the door and it happens to be a deserted area, then I'll squat. I mean, it's pretty simple. If they have a gate across their driveway where it's shut, I'm not even going to bother. That means they're home. I'm not. I mean, in my mind, that means they're home. But if it's an open driveway, I'll drive up and I'll beep the horn, and see if and if somebody's home, I'll see if they don't mind me parking in their driveway and staying in the driveway. I'm not asking them to come in their house. I'm just asking them to chill in their driveway for the night. At least I know I'm out of proximity of a large density area, and that means at that point, I can watch their neighbors' houses, and if their neighbors start to collapse or their neighbors change, then I can go claim some other piece of land, prospectively,
I mean, in the books, in the movies, you usually see the people that survive. I mean, that either try to hold up in a house somewhere, usually away from, the city. A popular one has always been get to a boat. Try to get to a boat.
I would actually be doing the opposite. I would be heading for the desert. Low population, you can actually survive on the desert, which most people don't think you can, but you can. There's plenty of food
If you know where to
available if
get
you know.
it,
Yeah, if you know how to get there.
And the water, and
It's just a
you
hard
can
life.
set
out in the
up.
desert.
It will be a hard life. Everything's going to be a hard life in this type of situation.
True.
And just get set up, and at least out there, if zombies are coming, I will see them a long time before they see me once I get set up.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
And it's
I like
fight
the
or
boat one,
flight.
too. I seriously think a boat one would be pretty good. I mean,
A small island would be better. Like if there's a small island on a lake, that would be okay. If you have enough people to clear the island,
Well, I mean, what have we done in our
Problem
games?
is, any island in a lake, every fish, everybody's going to know about it. They're going to be all flocking to that. Island out in the middle of the ocean. Well, how do you know if there's going to be any fresh water on the island?
You said what were we doing? What do we do in our games?
What have we done in our games? We went to the...
Doing exactly what I wouldn't have done, and that's hit for Walmarts. We've gone to Walmarts, cleared out a Walmart, which was easy in the game, but in real life, that's the last place I would want to be around.
Well, we didn't go to...
Where
We
were
went to the distribution center rather than the actual Walmart.
So I hit Walmart early on, pre-blender. I would hit, if I could hit Walmart in the first hour to 2 hours of something really going down, I probably would hit it. If
I
could
would
get
avoid
over
it.
there.
Yeah.
I would avoid it.
Well, it's like I told him, I wouldn't go through the front doors. I'd go around to the back to the entrance by the automotive. And as I'm pretty sure y'all well know, you go in the automotive entrance, the sporting goods section is usually right there within like 5 feet. Basically, it would be down 2 or 3 aisles, rake everything I could into a cart or two, and right out the automotive door.
Well,
again.
we know you won't have to rake too much ammo because there's not any ammo.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
actually,
I got-
Academy is pretty fat right
I'm
now.
talking about Walmart.
Yeah, yeah.
Tents, propane bottles for stoves, lanterns. They got sleeping bags, stuff like that I could use.
Yeah, I already have that.
Yeah,
so
I already
don't-
own
Yeah,
that.
see, I don't. I mean, unfortunately, with my situation with my family and whatnot, I don't have that kind of money to stockpile that stuff up. So I would be one of those going in and grabbing that at the beginning. It's why I would do it because of my situation. But I wouldn't be
Yeah,
going
I mean,
to the
in an
front door. and I
actual
wouldn't
bug
be trying
out
to go-
situation, I don't know that I would bother with the sleeping bag unless it's winter.
As we well
as far as in
know,
Texas. But I mean,
as we well know how
Yeah.
hot it is here. You
And you got to think of, you got to plan short term, mid term, long term. You got to think about what you got to do to survive through the day, what you got to do to survive through the week, and then what you got to do to continue surviving, out past
well,
that.
I mean, the priority is one day.
Sure,
You take
one
it
day.
one day at a time and build on it. You try to prepare for everything, and you're preparing for nothing. So that's why, at least, you have to be flexible, and like I said, get away from population centers, and then.
Yes.
But I mean, the big thing, we're all talking about leaving. Are we going to be able to find gas? I mean, can have siphon hoses, stuff like that. But
Well, let me ask you, how much gas do you usually keep in your car at any time?
I keep mine near full all the time.
mine's sitting on 3/4 of a tank right now,
Mine's a little under half right now, but
and
My main car is full most of the time because she keeps it full.
Right, that's only going to take about 400 miles.
About $400.
yeah, and since he's mentioned about the half a tank thing, I've already filled up from 3/4 of a tank to full since I've had the Jeep already over the last few days. So
in best case scenario, you got about a 400-mile range. Then you better find more fuel.
well, no. You got about 200, you better start looking for more fuel.
Well, yeah, you don't want to run dry and then start looking. Yeah, but I'm saying, worst case scenario, you've got a maximum of 400 miles,
And then you're walking.
and then you're walking.
Which would not, depending on the type of situation, isn't necessarily a bad thing either.
Well, yeah, it depends on your situation. I know some people here that have more than they could walk with if they had to.
Yeah, somebody's carrying that frickin' Alice pack again.
yeah, no, that's why I have a Jeep
And
now.
he had a big old laundry bag full of stuff.
It was
bottles
food.
of water. It was like, no wonder.
It was food, man.
No wonder
I was,
you're
I was
ready to
put-
pass out.
I brought you food and water, man.
That food was good too. The water was good too.
Yeah. I mean, I thought
I
ahead.
am thankful for that, but I was like, holy cow, what do you think you're trying to do?
I was
here?
just trying to hump in with everything we needed. That was it. I was one stop
I took
shop.
4 trips, not one, 4.
I tried to hump it all in with one. And that was
In my
rough.
prepping scenario,
The canoe was definitely a better option for
The
sure.
canoe was a better option because we made it. Had it tipped over,
Oh, we would have both been pissed.
there probably wouldn't be any more Sean videos on YouTube.
Yeah, looking at
Yeah, because I lost all my equipment. I mean, at the bottom of a lake.
something as simple as ammo. Right now, I have no more ammo than I could carry.
I do.
I can carry it. Ain't easy. I wouldn't want to carry it, but I have all my ammo will fit into a carry
There's
bag.
no need for all that, though.
I can carry.
I
all
mean,
my ammo
everybody's
on my
going
Jeep.
into this acting like they're going to be John Rambo.
No, honestly,
And-
I don't, because as I know at some point, I'm gonna have
What
to
I
order
recommend
food.
is people read Stranger in a Strange Land. The guy there, he went in with just a knife. And it's what's kept him alive,
Tunnel in
because
the
it
sky.
made him
Tunnel in the
avoid trouble rather than get involved in
Yeah,
trouble.
it's Tunnel in the Sky.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Robert Heinlein. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read it. Know it well. Read it many, many times. More than once.
Yeah,
I like that book.
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah,
You don't read.
Oh, I read zombie books.
it's a good book.
That wasn't Stranger in a Strange Land?
No,
No.
Tunnel in the Sky.
Tunnel in the
okay.
Sky.
Okay.
Same author.
Here's my personal concept.
I've read all of his books.
I haven't. Heinlein's real hit or miss with me.
Yeah, same here. There are some I just couldn't read.
Yeah, but essentially, my concept, the reason I have so much ammo, is because that's currency. I mean, in a situation, I mean, ammo does three things for me. It
Why
provides,
would I trade 50 rounds for something I can get with 1 round, though? That's whenever anybody talks about ammo as currency, that's what I always...
well, here's the
Same
thing.
thing with people talking about gold in that situation.
Well, see, because
They're going to trade their gold for my ammo. Well, I can get your gold for 1 round.
yeah. Well, see, this is the thing is, my ammo buys me a lot of things, And whenever I say it's my currency, it's not like I'm necessarily going to say, "Hey, here's 50 rounds to you. Please don't shoot me and give me my thing I want." No, what it does is it provides me security. So if something comes around, I can frack and shoot it. That's the first thing. I can
Well,
shoot.
we know you will shoot.
Yeah, right.
Well, game anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So okay. So I'm going to be able to defend myself against zombies, marauders, whatever. I have the means to hold something off. Hopefully. Second of all, is I can hunt with it. I can now provide myself food. I've tracked deer, shot deer, skinned it, quartered it, butchered it, and cooked it and eat it. I mean,
Did you try to carry it all out in one load?
actually, yeah. We drug it out and then finally pulled it out in my buddy's truck, and then we drug it up. Yeah.
See, the problem is that truck. If you don't have that truck, you're down to what you can carry.
I could have drug it back to the house.
And
It
if
wasn't
you're
that bad.
whatever you're carrying in ammo means you're not carrying in water and food.
Well,
and
what
other
I'm
things.
saying is at this point, I'm
That's
already.
why I'm playing with the Atlatl. I want to actually get down to I can
Yeah,
make
I think
one.
that's pretty cool. I like your thing right there in the corner.
Which one?
The spear.
bow, the spear, or
The spear.
black
As
powder
well
rifle?
as the well, that I was looking seriously at the gun show today. They had a black powder rifle there, and I was like, "Ooh, that might not be so bad."
And you can make black powder relatively easy.
Yeah,
not
I watched
funny,
Star
we
Trek.
do.
I know how to make it. Kirk taught me.
Right? But I mean, but the thing is, and this is all coming from the perspective that you got to your bug out location and you're set up.
You're probably moving all that crap,
Potentially, I mean that's always a.
which is going to be my problem too.
I mean that's everybody's
Well,
problem.
it's everybody. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah,
That's
He's
everyone-
had the example in that camping trip of what happens when you pack heavy.
That's why you have more.
And
than one
he's
person.
ignoring that still, trying to go in there as John Rambo.
No,
and-
I'm not because I'm taking
Yeah,
it
you
in
are.
a vehicle.
It's just like your character in our game. He's got 400 rounds. I have 150. If you were really carrying all that 400, all the stuff
Well,
you
he's
were
a
having
soldier.
on
He's
there,
not. He's not us.
your guy, even as a soldier,
That's what they
soldiers,
carry.
Combat
more-
loadout for a 223, 556,
210.
210 rounds.
210 rounds.
Yeah.
7
Plus they
30
carry.
round mags.
Plus they carry an extra set in their backpack.
Not
They
from
do.
what I read.
Yeah.
Not from my research.
I'm going to say most of the guys I'm seeing on the videos,
Yeah.
most of the what's on their back right down has been like the Camelback Hydra packs, not even the backpacks when they're going into combat.
Most of what I've seen
Most
is
of
they carry
that, rest
7,
of that is state
and
in.
then they're resupplied. They've got like ammo in the Jeep or ammo in the vehicle that they go back and get more if they need it. They rotate out and they reload and resupply, but they don't carry more than 7 loaded mags into combat.
No, they carry the backpack full too, enough to reload.
You might look that up.
We did. Me and Mark did.
Did you? 'Cause
Yeah.
Everything I've
Well,
read
I
just
think
basically
any
mentions.
soldier is going to be different on that.
Yeah, we're looking at a regular army.
And there's some that, I mean, you watch Black Hawk Down. They said, ditch the water, take water and ammo. That's all you need. Ditch the rest of the crap. And there may be some that do.
Yeah, but we're talking about bugging out.
But also
And
they had,
bugging
like-
out,
also
you're
they
gonna
had,
need
like-
more food and water than
Yeah.
you're going to need.
But of course, these soldiers
be
also
going
still
around
had
like,
8 pair of socks in their backpack. I mean, they listed everything in their backpack. I mean, their backpacks were like 200 pounds. I mean, it was crazy. They had like 8 pair of socks, 4 pair of underwear. They had like 3 sets of uniforms.
Where were these guys going?
That was just their standard loadout. I mean,
I don't buy that. I
The
haven't heard
military,
anybody with
they
that.
have their
they're over redundancies. It was crazy. No, do I agree with all that? No, but I mean that's just what
And
they
I don't
had.
think they usually hump that into battle. I mean, they may carry it to their forward operating base or wherever they're going to be staying, and they
He didn't
drop
even make it a mile with that Alice pack. He's not going to make it
I
far
could with the Alice
him
pack by
trying
itself,
to carry
but-
all the ammo
but
that
try-
he's talking
but
about.
I'm not going to be carrying the ammo. I'm driving it in. I mean, that's the difference. Is the stuff is going to be drove to a location and bugged out to. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to carry my harness, and that's it. I mean, I'm only going to carry what my harness will carry.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm not gonna hump that kind of weight. I won't. I know I won't.
Well, yeah, you can't. I mean, you
Yeah.
physically can't carry all the ammo you have.
No, I can't.
No.
I mean,
No,
it is right
200
now.
pound pack?
No, I'm saying that's what the military carries. No, it's not what I'm
I
going to
don't
carry.
think so.
With all their body armor and
Yeah,
everything.
they made it. There's no way in
body
hell
armor.
you're
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah, the
carrying
pack
a
itself's
fraction
like
of
60
that.
or 70 pounds. And
It was
body
like
armor,
I think it was like 75 or 80 pounds for the
with
pack.
armor, everything else on. Yeah, they weigh. They have
Because they have the
200 pounds.
assault pack and then they have the other pack. And they have like it's a multiple pack system. It was
What, they got the body armor. They got.
yeah. And they have
Weapons,
it,
ammo, mags.
the
Yeah, I mean, the
LBVs.
most I've ever heard was 70-pound packs. But I mean, that's.
Like I said, I don't think most of the time. I don't think they're wearing that when they're moving through, sweeping.
well, no, I mean obviously not. But I mean I'm saying this is what they have. But if they're marching from point A to point B and they get in a firefight, they have that crap on them. That's why you hit the quick release and you drop your crap. And you fight with your assault gear, and then
I don't
afterwards.
even think modern packs have the quick releases. Do
I don't
they?
think they do. Most of them. Some of them do. Some don't.
Not too hard to
The-
shrug
the-
out of it, though. I mean,
But I mean, so they dump their extra gear. They go fight. Then they go back and they pick up their packs and reload.
Yeah.
And they carry like 3 MREs, I think, in their pack, and
But yeah, I mean,
But
I mean, be that as it may, that.
but I mean, again, I mean, whenever I say when I say bullets are currency, I'm talking like I've already bugged out to my location and I've already set up shop. I mean,
You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to get everything down to just one ammo. And no, it can't handle every situation, but
Well, see, I mean that's exactly that's the question that's the point we're looking for here. Hold on. Okay, that's the question we're going for here is, your particular plan. And it's not my plan; it's your plan. So you're trying to get down to 1 kind of ammo, and you're trying to get down to 2 kinds of ammo, right?
Yeah, the 308 and the 9mm.
Okay.
well, actually, I'm two kinds of ammo. I'm trying to get to the 9mm, and then I'll have 22 ammunition.
as for me, right now, currently I've got 22, 12 gauge, 45, 9mm, 223, 556, and 762 or 308. So I've got 7 different kinds of ammo, and I'm looking to try to probably pick up a Smith & Wesson 40 pistol. I don't have thousands of rounds for each one. I have a couple hundred rounds for each one. My thinking is, if I can't find ammo for one, if I run out, I can switch to the other. If I find some and it's not from, I have a better chance of being able to pick up some ammo from somewhere else and using it in one of the firearms that I have. I wouldn't be carrying all those firearms at once, but I have them as
Well, once
backups.
again, you're going to need a static location.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a Black Hawk that has a cylinder for .38 .357, and then another cylinder for 9mm.
Then that
It's
is
a very rare
great.
gun,
Realistically,
but I do have it.
Realistically, I could carry my 9, my 45, one of my ARs, either the 308 or the 223.556. I can carry those 3. I could probably manage either the shotgun or the 22. I could probably realistically carry 4 weapons on me and still be mobile. The 22's light, the shotgun's light,
Just
the
a-
2 pistols are nothing in one rifle. You know,
Maybe
the
light,
22
but they're
takedown-
bulky.
The 22 takedown, it's in a little pack, so I can definitely know I can carry it with the 2 pistols and a rifle. Which basically leaves, 3 that I wouldn't be able to carry with me. They would either be carried by somebody else or...
I like Ray's version of Let's Go Native.
I mean, I think that's great, and I think that one thing about the zombie apocalypse that most people really, really don't pay attention to is the survival aspect. As honestly, I mean, if a person plays it smart, and if it's bad, okay, let me precursor this, that if it's bad enough that it's actually going to be a real problem, then that means that it's bad enough that it's already killed out the military. Because the military can snuff out most stuff. And if the military can't hold their own bases down because of the zombie outbreak is that bad, then the likelihood is going to be extraordinarily rough for everybody, anybody, no matter how good you are. So we're going to say that, for some reason it's really, really bad, like The Walking Dead, where everything's just fracking nutty, but we happen to Forrest Gump our way through things, and we get out to whatever location. Then yes, I would like, once you get to that point, skill is where you're going to need to have things in. It's not going to be about your equipment. It's going to be about, do you know how to plant crops? Do you know how to, the husbandry for animals? Do you know how to hunt, track? Do you know how to, purify water, where to find good water to see if that water is good or not? I mean, you're going to have medicinal plants. I mean, at this point, you're going to have to learn survival aspects because you don't have a doctor. You don't have a
medical skills, basic mechanic skills. I mean,
I'm looking at it as eventually, if it's that bad, you're not going to be able to just continually be driving everywhere.
No.
Yeah,
So, my ultimate thing is trying to get to a location that is very remote. That's why I say it like a desert. No, not West Texas, because that's just too extreme. It's just the temperatures, dryness, everything's too extreme. I lean towards like southern Utah, where, I've talked to Sean before about that, where, it's sand, it's desert, but, there are streams there, there is wood there, there's plenty of animal life there, there's plenty of edible plants there, if you know.
Nevada's also similar to that.
West Texas.
And tons of gophers. Now you're going to be rolling the dice on certain diseases, but no matter, by this point in this situation, we're all rolling the dice and on stuff at that point. But.
Yeah, everything's going to be I hope this thing doesn't kill me situation at that point.
Yeah, it's all going to be trade-offs. You're going to have to, there's going to be risks.
Well, like with the prairie dog, you're going to have to overcook it. And I would say not just the prairie dog, any animal. You will have to overcook it so that you're cooking it now to kill, to basically disinfect it more than for taste. So, it's probably going to be pretty crunchy when you're eating it.
Yeah.
But that's how you know that, you're not going to get
you're not going to be like Bear
the Black
Gillis
Death or something.
Or whatever his name was. Who is one of the Survivor guys? Is Bear Gillis or whatever?
Yeah, but he fakes it. That's the whole thing. He'll stay at a hotel and make everybody think he's been staying out.
Well, it's like the one show I saw where he was in Vietnam, and he's walking through this tunnel in the jungle that he found, and he's wading through muck up to his waist, and he finds this big old bullfrog up in this sewagey, nasty-looking water, and he, catches it, and it's a big bullfrog, and he cuts the legs off, and he's eating one of them raw, and I'm like, are you just asking for dysentery? Really?
Well,
That's your survival?
Bear Gillis, he's the SAS guy or
Yeah,
whatever.
Bear Grylls, yeah, he is.
He doesn't really teach survival anyway.
Yeah,
He teaches moving through the wilderness to get out.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's
So that's what
surviving
his
along
show.
the way.
Yeah, that was
And another thing about Bear Grylls, I mean, he like broke his back or whatever, and he was down for a while, and now his back's repaired, and he just does the most outlandish crap because he can. I mean, he's SAS. I mean, the dude's bad, but like you said, I mean, he's like, look at me and all my splendor doing all this amazing crap, kind of like that Apocalypse Man. It's
Yeah, but I
like
prefer-
he throws a grappling hook up over a bridge and
it climbs up.
and climbs
yeah.
up. And I'm like, what? I'm going to walk around the lake. I'm not going to climb up with this thing.
There's a freaking boat there somewhere.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I much prefer like either Cody and Dual Survival or like
Man, Woman,
Survivor
Wild.
Man.
Man, Woman, Wild and Survivor Man are my favorites.
Yeah. I really love Survivor Man because each episode he tries a different way to come up with fire. And so he gives you all sorts of
So-
unique
so it's Man,
ideas
Woman,
on
Wild.
how you can start a fire.
You say that, but that's like the episode I watched with him, and he's in the car, and he's like, if you're in a car and you're out in the snow and the cold or whatnot, and your car dies and you're stuck. He's in there and he's like, he pops the hood and he cuts the seats out of the back and he gets some of the dry stuff from the seats and he builds him a little fire and he gets some gas out of the gas tank.
Inside a car.
No. Outside. He gets all this stuff out of the car, builds a little thing outside to do this fire. He gets some gas out of the gas tank to put on the stuff to make it burn before he lights it. He's getting it all ready. Then he gets some wires and shorts the battery out onto the stuff to make sparks.
Make sparks to start the fire.
Okay, I don't know jack squat about survival, but I would think I would use the damn cigarette lighter that's inside the car, push and hold it in until it got cherry red, and use it to start a fire instead of tearing the damn car apart.
Not all cars have that though. Not all cars.
Most cars have a cigarette
well, my
lighter.
sister's doesn't, for instance.
I've had like one that had it, but I mean, he
You
didn't
know.
even show her if he checked. I'd at least check.
The whole thing is he's showing that if you have a battery, you can start a
sure,
fire.
yeah,
That's the whole point
Yeah,
of the
I mean,
show.
he kind of goes, the long way around instead of. If I ever did a show, I would try to show you the simplest, common sense stuff first. I wouldn't show you how to rub two sticks together to start a fire if you had a box of matches. Now, if you don't have them, sure, you use whatever you got and you move to the next step.
Well, in Survivor Man, he usually, if he's rubbing sticks together, he doesn't have a match.
yeah.
Yeah, and actually I saw in Survivor Man, he had one match and he split it into two matches.
Yeah.
In one of his things. He was like his sled dogging in like Alaska or whatever, and he split a paper match into two matches.
My favorite still is his Frito corn chips. Where he shows how long those corn chips will burn. He said, forget eating them. Use them to start fires.
I hadn't seen that one, I guess.
Yes.
That's
I mean,
pretty awesome.
because of the oil in the corn chip, it will burn for a long time.
That's great.
But I have no set destination for where I bug out to.
I have a general idea where I would go if I'm just on my own.
Yeah. Eyeing some land over in East Texas, but it is way too close to Shreveport. It's 6 miles outside of Shreveport,
That's not far enough.
but it's as a crow flies. It's 6 miles outside of Shreveport. Now, by the highways, it's a lot longer. But yeah, I'm thinking no. Even
So
though
I'm
it's-
thinking of going to government land, which may or may not be the...
I need to find out how.
Way to go.
I need to be able to. I need to find out my genealogy so I can register my Native American side of me, and hopefully get some reservation land, and then I'd be kind of good.
Yeah, you're going to need that because I don't see any Native American.
Oh, my grandma on my
I
dad's
believe
side,
you. I'm just saying
my
that
great
by the
grandma on my
looks.
dad's
I
side,
just-
she was full-blooded Native American, so I'm 1/8 Native American. So my dad's a quarter.
that's enough, I believe.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it
I
is.
think
Yeah, my dad's a quarter, so if you get my genealogy,
Yeah, I think you have to be a 16.
I
16.
think it's 16th, yeah. And my niece and nephew could do that.
Yeah, see,
I got to find out what tribe it is. 'Cause
Yeah, and I said I have to run my genealogy.
Might get some money from them casinos, man.
Well, I mean, I don't even care about that. I just like to get a piece of land, and then if I could, then I'd buy the adjoining land on the non-reservation side if I could get up against the border. So I have regular land and Native American land, and I built my house on the reservation side, and it's like,
You'd be set then, huh?
it's like, I'm coming over here to see you. It's like, you can't pass that line. That's reservation land there, buddy. You can stomp around in that garden all you want.
Yeah, my grandma supposedly did a genealogy thing on us, but there's one whole branch that's kind of missing. And when I asked, well, what was here, she said, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just, on my
That
side,
usually means something that you don't want to talk about.
for people,
Well, I'm thinking it was either blacks or Indians, because,
for people that, their families were out west for many generations, it's going to be hard to track the genealogy. If families were from the east, it might not be that hard to track your family's
or criminals.
histories. There's
Could be,
a lot.
yeah.
I know on my, we have one part of the family we've been able to take it back to before the War of 1812, where, on that side of the family, we had a colonel in that war, but but on the other side, it's very hard to track down because
There's a whole section in my family that's hard to track because my grandfather on my father's side was born out of wedlock, and his father disappeared and didn't have anything to do with the family. And we have some information on who we think it is, but it's not anything hard, So there's a whole section there that basically has just disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've thought about getting some land out in West Texas. It's inexpensive,
Hard living, but
but it's
there's nothing on it because I've thought the same thing. And then with all the people doing the
I think more like Montana and Wyoming myself.
well, it's a long way from here.
I'd hate to buy property and then lose it because somebody decided to
Squat on it
before
you get
you
to
know.
it.
And it'd probably be whoever was selling that land in the first place, knowing
Yeah.
full well you're not going to come out there to do anything on it.
If I bought land, it would be within the range of what I could get to, single tank of gas.
Yeah.
That would be as far as away as I would want to buy anything. It would have to be within about a 400-mile radius of where I start from.
Well, I mean, I would head for the Wichita Wildlife Reserve. The only problem is it's next to Fort Sill. In the zombie apocalypse type thing. But you'd have plenty of buffalo to eat, plenty of longhorn.
A lady tried to
steers.
talk me into land down near Fort Hood.
Yeah.
Well, I contacted some realtors. I told them I wanted a minimum of an acre next to public land that I could build on and put a septic tank on. It had to be not in a flood zone and all that I could build on it. And she, come back with this down near Colleen. And she said, well, it's right next to Fort Hood, and they let you hunt in there. I said, no. Not near Fort Hood. No, thank you.
Right.
I gotta get, fellas.
Yeah, I need to get going too because I've got to work too.
All right. Well, that was some stuff here. So you got a decent amount of information there of a ton of varying ideas. We'll try to do some more solidifying on some ideas, and probably try to do one-on-ones and let you get this person's outlook and why they choose their particular outlook over another, and that way you can kind of get an idea of each person's individual taste and flair. Again, this is Shaun of the Dead. As always, please, feel free to comment and always
Sorry if I leave this here since it's
stay
I'm not gonna do
on
anything
comment
with it until
on
Saturday.
topic, and please don't forget to comment. And as always, subscribe.
See you later.